Greetings and welcome back, Carnivores, Carnivore Confidential. I'm Dougie the Butcher. As you know, we talk about all things meat and meat related here, whether it's how to cut or DIY recipes and stuff like that, but anything meat related. And today's topic is, I get asked all the time about the secret butcher's cuts that nobody ever knows about or sees in the counter. There are a number of cuts that just by virtue of the fact that there are very few of them, and if they are good, then yes, more often than not, they come home with us for our dinner and never make it to the butcher's counter. But I mean, you can ask for these cuts if you like. In particular, they would be the hanger, the skirt steak, the flank steak to a certain degree as well, but also the flat iron steaks in the blade section. Now, the reason for these being so rare is because there's really only, if you think about it, there's only two of everything on a carcass. There's two halves, right? There's two front quarters, two hind quarters, and from each of those primals and subprimals comes the various breakdown of cuts. Now, in the loin, for example, you might get 16 to 18 3/4 of an inch steaks. Same with the rib section. You may get 10 to 12 3/4 of an inch to an inch steaks, and that just goes to show you that there are way more blade steaks and T-bone steaks and sirloin steaks and eye of round steaks if you cut them into an eye of round. But there are still only two of those muscles per carcass, right? So when we talk about the diaphragm being a coveted cut by the butcher's cut, the diaphragm making up, of course, the hanger steak and the skirt steak. It's coveted. And again, because there's only two of them, you rarely see them in the counter. We'd have to break a dozen carcasses just to get a dozen pieces to put in the counter, and they'd be gone like that, right? Same with the flank. There's only one on each side. That's why they're quite expensive. They're not that they're not that hard to find in a butcher's case. But the flat iron steak as well, there are actually 4 per side. So there's 2 on this side and 2 on this side because there's for the one flat iron muscle itself has a piece of gristle that runs down the center of it. And once you remove that piece of gristle, then you've got 2 steaks. So 2 on this side, 2 on this side, 4 steaks. Now, if you are buying your beef, I've also been asked the same question about buying beef in bulk from an abattoir. Like if you buy a live steer, how do you know you're getting what you pay for if you don't actually watch the butcher cut the steak or cut the carcass? Now, number one, I'm not going to say that there hasn't been some shady practices out there, because there probably have been. I mean, who knows? What goes on behind closed doors, so to speak. But if you have a good rapport with your butcher or your abattoir, for that matter, they will have, they will have absolutely no problem showing you how they cut the carcass, and they'll probably ask you along the way, what would you like me to do with this, and what would you like me to do with that? Would you like this to be a roast, or would you like this to be steaks? Would you like this to be stew, or would you like this to be fast fry? So on and so forth. So, are there secret cuts? Yes and no. Are they withheld from the public? Probably, pardon me, probably more yes than no, just simply because, as I said before, the scarcity of the cut and the value, not the value, but the tenderness of that particular cut. And as I said, there are a number of cuts that have been labeled the butcher's steak or the butcher's cut. That's not to say that we take them home for free, because we pay for them as well. But I hope that wraps up a little bit of the mystery for you. If you are in fact looking for something like that, particularly hanger steaks and skirt steaks, and flat irons for that matter, you might have to go to a nose to tail butcher or nose to tail processor and just tell them what you're looking for, and they'll be able to either bring it in for you or they'll have it there and they'll cut it for you on the spot. So there you have it, folks. 2-Minute Tuesday. It's not even Tuesday, it's Friday. But let's call it Fast Friday. I upload every Thursday at 6 o'clock, so come on back next Thursday for something new. And in the meantime, please hit like and subscribe and share and do all that great stuff, because It just shows Google that I'm putting out content that people want to watch, and it helps with the algorithm get me to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm not there yet. So thanks for your support, and we'll see you next Thursday, and stay hungry, you guys.